My name's Arjun. I lead the ads business for Spotify in India. I've been there 7 years in a month. Feels like sometimes it feels really short, sometimes it feels really long. After listening to Abhik with all the insights and Amar with all the sort of cool engineering stuff and Narayan with bots talking to each other, you get the chance to hear a sales guy trying to figure out how to actually make all of this happen, right? We've been on this journey of trying to put audio front and center in India for the last 5-7 years. And I have a tough job. I love it because it's a cool, sexy brand. Everybody wants to talk to you. We have all this culture stuff happening. But the challenge is most of the people in this room don't wake up thinking, oh my God, you know what? I want to do something on audio, right? So our job really is to walk into the rooms, explain to them that, yeah, we do the fun, cool, sexy stuff, but we also do stuff that works really hard. And there is a reason why you should pay attention to what we're doing and how you should apply it in your lives as you think about it on a day-to-day basis. And 3 things that Abhik mentioned really sort of resonated for me. He said attention, he said trust, and he said culture. And I'm so happy because those are the exact check boxes that Spotify also sort of checks. We are going to talk about audio, but you're going to hear a lot of Spotify because in many ways, all the data, all the insights, all the measurement that we've done is from our own platform. But in the interest of actually growing the audio economy, I would encourage you to not necessarily apply a Spotify lens to this, but just think of it broadly as audio and how it fits into the way you think you make decisions in your strategic. And of course, after that, give us a call and then we'll help you further, right? So let's jump in just to make sure everybody has a sense of what the scale is currently as per ComScore. Of course, we don't talk about our internal numbers, but as per ComScore, we are about 115 million monthly active users, positioned as the 3rd leading OTT platform. Pay attention to the term OTT. There's a specific reason why we use that, and that will become clear as we go through it, because I'm pretty sure many of you, when you think OTT, you don't think Spotify, but that's something else that we want to change, right? More interestingly and more importantly, people listening to audio on Spotify are fans, people who love Spotify. They spend almost 8 times the time on Spotify than they do on social media platforms. This is crazy, right? We spoke about time paucity. I think Harsha mentioned it, that time is sort of is the currency in many ways. And there is all this time that's available, which I'll talk about as well. And it's not just that people are spending a crazy amount of time on platforms that actually make them feel good. What's happening on the marketing side is not really keeping up, right? So we all know that the people that we want to reach, audiences, consumers, their attention behaviors are changing, where they spend time is changing, how they consume media is changing. And always it is the consumer who leads and the market follows. We've seen that in the shift from TV to YouTube, from sort of aggregated portals, etc., to social. And you will see that as time continues to shift, that people also, marketing budgets also move to where people are actually spending high quality time and have attention, right? But every time we try and explain this, we get the same 3 questions which we've been answering, which is, okay, I love the fact that you guys can do it, but where am I going to move the money from? I want to put money on attentive stuff. I want to do cool, innovative stuff, but here's how my marketing is structured, where it's going to come from. So hopefully I'll answer that a little bit. How do I know it works? We've always been, sort of obsessed with eyeballs for some reason. We think that eyes are 10 times more valuable than the ears, which is not true. But because of that focus on formats and eyeballs and screen time, we don't have enough information about whether when we put this money, it's actually going to work or not. And finally, after all that, are there going to be any differences? Is it going to make a difference in my business? What is my investment in audio and in this highly attentive medium going to drive for me in terms of the outcomes that I'm focused on, right? So let's jump in quickly into these things. First, if you look at the media choices for people, quite diverse, very fragmented. And also second screening, third screening is happening a lot, right? And one of the reasons that audio works really well is because it is by nature a highly attentive medium. You listen with your headphones on. It's very easy to, like Narayan said earlier, to go take a walk to the loo when an ad is on, but because you can turn off your eyes, but you can't turn off your ears, right? Ears are always on, just like audio. And as a result, what you really need when you're making media plans about where to put your money is to look at where are people coming every day? Where is the habit of consumption really a habit and not just something that I do on an appointment basis. And what you need to look for there is really which platforms have high daily active users. Who are the people that keep coming back to a platform so that I can drive the right reach, the right frequency, and the right impact over time. And clearly audio platforms have a very, very high percentage of people coming every day because it's a habit. Let's talk about time. I was very interested to see this stat around time spent on the IPL final. 16.7 billion minutes. This is great, crazy numbers. I think India breaks the record on live streaming in sport every single year, and it's amazing what Jio Hotstar has been able to do with that kind of scale. But sneakily on the side, without an IPL final or without needing some big tentpole thing to happen, people are spending about 3 times that every month on audio. It's crazy, right? So here we are looking for opportunities of incremental reach, finding that quality time which is not crowded, which is not sort of auctioned to the bidder who is able to fight the hardest for that microsecond of attention. It's a crazy amount of time. And as marketers, as agencies, as clients, as partners, we're always trying to find that meaningful, valuable time where consumers are engaged and paying attention, and it's there for us for the taking, right? And it's not just one-dimensional. There's all sorts of stuff happening on Spotify. So, there's video pods, there's an AI DJ. Of course, no presentation is complete without AI. So there is an AI DJ, there is blend happening, there are road trips being powered, and so on and so forth. So it has gone way beyond just somebody listening to a track to being a highly interactive, two-way, personalized, on-demand, multi-format platform, right? And so for your message to land, it has to matter, and it has to matter in the places where people are spending most of the attention. And the reason why it works well on audio is because audio consumption is different. It's sequential. It's when your hands are busy but your mind is free. It's headphones on. It's multi-device, right? And so you're able to really land stuff that's really meaningful, contextual, and effective. And it's fun, and I kind of have a chuckle sometimes when I see all this attention on attention now, because as Niyati, who leads business marketing for us, and a few of my team members here know, we started a journey with attention almost 2.5, 3 years ago. We worked with Dr. Karen Nelson Field and Amplified Intelligence to measure attention because we knew we would be very, very good at it, and it's true. So we've done a huge amount of dark testing, hundreds of campaigns with Amplified Intelligence, with Adelaide, with Lumen. And we know for a fact that audio actually drives significantly higher attention than most other platforms and beats all benchmarks on attention. And we can measure this for you. So to Narayan's point of how do you know it's working? Well, without the bots and so on, with some rudimentary frameworks that have been together, it can be measured, and we'd love to measure it for you as well. And so what the IPL example tells you is that over time, if you want to be really personalized, if you want to really be a part of people's lives, then you can't just rent spikes, right? You have to own rituals. You have to be a part of the consumer's day, and you have to be meaningful and relevant to them when they're actually living that day and going about their lives in the way that they do. On trust, right? Especially if you look at the younger generation as being the one that's getting increasingly more difficult to reach, where their media behaviors are really changing. Audio is an oasis of calm for them. It's where they go to when they want to relax, tune the world out, take a break, or have a great moment with their partner or by themselves in the evening. It is almost a mental health resource, which means that it is a place where they come to feel good. It's very difficult to say that about media platforms these days, but audio streaming, music, podcasts are places that leave consumers with a very, very positive mindset. And of course, you want to be in that place where your users are in a positive mindset, because that's when it works best for you as well. And we know these trends are happening, right? People are moving away from smartphones. They want dumb phones. My 13-year-old actually has a small Nokia, which he loves. They don't want more doom scrolling. They're being mindful of consumption. So on the one hand, you have the old. On the other hand, you have the new, which is not really new because audio was sort of the first broadcast medium that was invented, right? And that really feeds into the fact that it will always be high attention and high impact. And that's the reason why, people don't just say Spotify, they say my Spotify. That's why people obsessively share their Wrapped cards. That's why they feel embarrassed when that song that they didn't want to be on their Wrapped is actually on the Wrapped, and now they have to put it on Instagram and get ripped by all of their friends. And that's why audio will always be on the home screen. Spotify is the #1 home screen app in the world. Home screen is probably the most expensive real estate with any consumer. And by far people choose to put Spotify on it because they know that that's what they turn to when they need it the most. I'll skip this. So think of it not in terms of noise and scroll, but think of it in terms of signal and soul, because digital has always had the propensity to be over measured, because there was a metric you wanted to know what it is, right? But the good thing is this isn't radio digitized. It's something completely new, because of the way music and pods and audiobooks and music videos power people's lives, you can learn a lot about what they're exactly doing, what is the context, what is the moment, what is the experience that they're having at that point in time, right? So instead of just being able to say female 27 plus living in Jalandhar is on an iPhone and likes running, audio and Spotify can tell you, at 7 a.m. she is going for a run right now, or she is in the gym, or she's driving back from work, or she's had a tough day and she's listening to this particular playlist, and you could be somebody who actually makes it better. So it's about meaningful connections, and it is about net new time. Because we've been obsessed with screens for so long, we've been giving up on opportunities and forgetting that people actually spend most of their life without a screen, right? And these are the moments where you have never been able to go before, where audio and Spotify can boldly take you now. So whether it's the car, it's the home speaker, it's a watch. I believe there's a Nike shoe with Spotify built in and so on. So you are able to now be meaningfully present in moments that wasn't possible before. The challenge is really for us to figure out how are we going to help you leverage that and take it to the next level in really meaningful ways. And you can follow the consumer all through the day, right? And be really relevant, be really personalized and customized, and be sort of not interruptive but additive to the way that they are actually living their lives. And finally, to whether it'll work, we've measured it, it does, right? So whether it is for brand, whether it is for relevance, whether it is to visit a store, whether it is on your search volumes, it works because it drives recall, it drives frequency, it's personalized, it's portable, and it's high quality surround sound that you really cannot ignore in many ways. So to sum it up, we are, well, I would have said Jan, but month one done. It was a very long January. But in the new year, what I'd really love for all of us together to think about is, how can we be more intentional around avoiding distractions and being more meaningful? How can we go beyond just renting spikes and owning rituals? And how can we build brands in real moments that matter and talk to people like they're human beings and not just pixels or cookies or something else? And I think we really have a way to sort of be a part of that trend for the next 10 years in terms of how we change the industry that we are all in. Thank you so much. That's it from me, and 2 minutes to go. So.